Okay, so I just finished my first session. Um, even I'm kind of still finishing, but we'll give this a go anyways. I'm going to be peeking at my notes here that I took during my session, which I don't know if you can tell, but they're kind of almost impossible to read, but I will do my best. So, the first thing that I realized that this is going to mean during my session is that it's going to require a lot of vulnerability, which I am also not so good at. So, not only will I be sharing, my experience during these sessions, which can bring up a lot of different topics for people, but also I decided that I'm going to share these videos as I do them rather than collect them all and then post them later. I was going to make sure that, things were happening and it was going to be good for business and all that kind of stuff. But instead, I'm putting it out there. That's kind of some of the first things that came up for me. Um, so during the session, the first 20 minutes, I was pretty typical, feeling a lot of fear, resistance, got some tension in my hands, had a lot of kind of crazy movement in my abdomen, and my mind took a minute or two to settle down. I got an email right before I started to breathe that had me a little concerned, so it was busy processing that while I was trying to breathe. The second 20 minutes, I learned a valuable lesson in that you should always let your dog outside before you do a breath session on your own. She decided that it was getting urgent and she was distracting me a little bit, and I figured I was going to have to stop at about 40 minutes, which is the kind of bare minimum for a full breathing cycle. But eventually she did settle down, and I was able to go the full hour of breathing. And so the last third of this, the last 20 minutes, was pretty smooth sailing breathing wise. It wasn't a struggle. I didn't have to concentrate on it. It's what we say is like you're being breathed. You're not breathing anymore. You're being breathed. Um, and a very interesting topic came up for me in that of trust, not of others, but number one, of trusting myself, and number two, of trusting the universe and trusting it to put my path in front of me. When I thought of trust, I felt immediate tension in my back. And so it's quite likely a lot of my stress that I collect up here in my back and my shoulders and in my rib cage is probably due to trust and lack of trust for myself and lack of trust for my journey. So that's something I'm going to be focusing on until my next session is trust and using what my teacher calls creative questions and asking myself, why do I trust? And how do I feel when I trust? So that will be something to focus on until I do my next breath session, and then maybe it'll come up again. After a breath session, you then go into what we call integration, which is a time where you return to normal breathing, and it's usually a pretty blissful, connected state, and that's exactly what it was for me. I typically rush this piece because I'm already thinking about the next thing that I have to do, but I was patient with myself this time and allowed the experience, and it did not disappoint. It was blissful, and I felt connected. And I realized that if I could feel like this for 10 to 15 minutes every week, if I kept to my breathing schedule, um, I could maybe move mountains. So it's that kind of a powerful of an experience. I did have a headache during my integration, which is new for me. I've never experienced that, and the feeling that I got was that I needed to let go, which is very typical for me. So as I contemplating letting go, the headache did relieve itself. And then it was cool. It was kind of like I could see my videos, not the one that I made before this and not this one, but kind of I could see the progress of the videos for this coming week. And so that was just kind of a validation to me that I'm this is not a wasted exercise. And one of the videos did have my dog Molly in it, and so we'll have to do that sometime. She's not close to me right now, but when she is, you'll get to see Miss Molly. So please post any comments or questions that you have. I would love to hear them. Just kind of a little disclaimer that this technique should not be done on your own unless you've done quite a few sessions with a trained practitioner. There's tons of different breathing techniques out there, but for this one specifically, this is what we recommend. If you're interested in learning more, please contact me. I'd be happy to chat with you about it. Other than that, I will see you tomorrow, I guess. Have a great rest of your day.